What's up, you guys? I'm here at Team Symmetry, here to bring you guys the next episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! And upon high request, we are doing Frog Monarch, Lancer Monarch, Monarch in general. As you guys can see, I just have the template out here. It has, of course, the Monarchs, Obelisk route, the Lancer route, all the routes that you can possibly go, and all the optimal spells and stuff that the deck runs, just to give you guys a general idea. And of course, down here I just have just some basic XYZ summons. Having played the deck myself, I really don't remember ever really XYZ spamming. I think that was because I was using it before Bouncer was released. I believe an Exobeetle was released, so I never really used them in the deck. But anyways, I want to give a couple shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Acrofusion. Link will be down below in the description for his channel. He sent me the top 8 one from the regional, so that gave me a general idea of what to use for a template. And 2 people on Facebook. I want to thank Ryan Stevens, and I want to thank, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I believe it's Vin Hawk Nguyen, I want to say. They all sent me Monarch lists, and I really do appreciate it, so thank you to all of you. I really do appreciate when people help me out here on something that I'm not super familiar with. I'm familiar with the deck, just not familiar with what the best route would be for the deck. So we're going to end this real quick. So what's good about this deck? Well, from personal experience, I would say what's really good about this deck is that Monarchs usually always have a pretty big hand, so they make Tragodia gigantic. Not only that, they can get around decks that a lot of other decks cannot. Their ability to stop battle phases with Battle Fader, their ability to never have back row really set, so they can constantly drop Gores. You're at the constant fear of being of Gores dropping and just kind of flipping the game around in their favor. That's one thing. Their hand traps are really optimal in the deck. But other things is that the recurrence of Treeborn Frog. The recurrence of Treeborn Frog makes the deck absolutely amazing for the fact that Treeborn Frog is going to keep coming back, keep coming back, and you are constantly wondering, what are they going to do? Are they going to summon a Caius to, banish one of my key monsters? Is if it's dark, I take 1,000. Are they going to Rise of me, which I think is even worse? I think Rise is one of the best Monarchs, even now, for the fact that it kind of just sort of resets the game in the sense that the monster's there, it gets bounced back to the top of the deck, or if it's an XYZ, it gets sent back to the extra deck. So there's so many things that this deck can do that can just really throw a lot of people off. And of course, the ever-present Light and Darkness Dragon. This card is ridiculous. It's so good against decks like Wind Up, so good against decks like Inzectors, decks that do a lot of crazy effects. LADD can just take the hits, and then eventually when the LADD dies, you can always bring back a Frog. So I mean that there's a lot of synergy there with the deck. And Swap Frog is without a doubt probably the best card in the deck. It does so much. Sets up your graveyard. You can special it. You can do so many busted combos. You can bounce back Monarchs if you want to reuse them. You can bounce back so many cards. It's ridiculous. I really like that card. I like Ronin Tonin because it helps set up for easy LADD plays. It helps set up when you just don't have Treeborn Frog. You usually do have Treeborn Frog, but sometimes you don't. So that can be a problem. But I mean, aside from that, the deck's pretty solid. And then, of course, there's the Sea Lancer route. This is the one that I actually have not gone yet. I have used regular Monarchs. I have used I've used Obelisk. I think I was only maining one back then, but it was just to try it out. I never knew that you could actually build a deck around this ridiculous behemoth of a card. But I really do like Lancer. Reading up on it, seeing that it can basically take a lot of hits and you can destroy, and it gains 1,000 attack while equipped with a monster by this effect. What's really cool is that you can use it with Poison Draw Frog to help you get some pluses. It can do a lot of other cool things. I feel that that's what makes this deck really solid, is that there's a lot of tricks the deck can do. It can really trick the opponent, and I think that that's what adds to the deck's, I guess, it's sometimes I think it's a good meta call. I think for the majority of the time it's a good meta call up until people were main decking Macrocosmos or main decking Dimensional Fissure. That can hurt this deck. The reason being is that you're very reliant on your graveyard for Treeborn Frog and Ronin Tonin. These 2 cards really fuel the entire engine of the deck, and I feel that could be a problem. But aside from that, the deck is pretty solid. I think Enemy Controller Treeborn Frog is one of the best plays in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just for the fact that Treeborn Frog comes back, you can take their monster, tribute it for a Monarch, bring back Treeborn in the same time, and instant Light and Darkness Dragon. I think that is just amazing. So that's why I think the deck is still good. I think almost every deck is still decent in Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone will say, I say it myself, a good player needs to pilot it. A player that knows the deck inside and out needs to pilot it. and they need to have a properly built side deck to combat the things that really do hurt this deck. And it's a deck like every other deck that is reliant on the graveyard for key plays, and I feel that can be one thing that can hinder its performance. So I guess for like the bad part, what's bad about this deck is that Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure do hurt the deck, obviously. Not only that, but the random Gravekeepers with like Royal Tribute, Necro Valley could really just, screw this deck over because it doesn't run a ridiculous amount of monsters. But I mean, aside from that, they are packing 3 MSTs and heavy. I'm pretty sure that's a staple in like every Monarch deck or any of the variants here. Once again, it's just a template, so this is just an idea, and it depends on what route you're trying to go. I like that because that can combat what hurts it even in the main deck, so that's really good. Other things, Soul Exchange is another route people go when they do standard Frog Monarch. I really like Soul Exchange for the fact that you can take face downs. The fact that you can just take face downs just makes me so happy. You can take a Zen main, Soul Exchange it, tribute it, and like, yeah, there goes your Zen mains. Its only hindrance is that you can't conduct your battle phase, but who cares? You got rid of a problem card, you got one of your key cards on the board, you're good to go, you're set up. And the thing is that you make cards like Heavy Storm and Mystical Space Typhoon completely dead against this matchup, because outside of maybe Treacherous Trap Hole, which I forgot to include here, we'll put it in here now. I don't even know how to... I can't even spell. But aside from that, this would be like the only trap card that they run for the fact that they usually don't have any traps in the graveyard, so they can use that card. That would be like the only card they would include trap wise. So you basically make your the MSTs and heavy are basically dead, like trapless agents. Same thing. So I do like the synergy of this deck. I like the way it runs. I like how it can utilize Max C and Effect Veiler. How you can even go the Chaos route. I know people go the Chaos route of this deck and include BLS and Sorcerer, since you do have lights and you do have dark, so you do have a way to do that. Like some people throw in like extra Veilers, they'll throw in other stuff just to make BLS an option, because BLS is an amazing card. But what I like the most about this deck is that even now it's still unexpected, and that's the thing, is that, like I've said before with a lot of decks like Dragoonity or other decks like that, when the deck is unexpected and you're not properly prepared for it in your side deck or in your main deck, you're going to struggle against the deck because it's going to take you by surprise. And let's face it, if someone drops an Obelisk and you don't have like Mirror Force, or I don't even know like what you hit Obelisk with, I've never been in that situation. I mean, you kind of lose. I mean, 4,000 attack can basically just not... it can't be targeted by spells and traps or card effects. I mean, you can use Mirror Force, Dark Hole, but I mean, those are like one of, maybe two of Mirror Force. I mean, if you don't have that, I mean, well, good luck. And that's what I think is really cool, is that it's the only deck I know that has ever made the use of a God card. And Obelisk, is like my favorite just because it's Obelisk. SKYPE used Obelisk and it was busted. And this card is just a behemoth of a card because, you drop a 4,000 beater after you drop an LADD and you make them use up all their effects. They're pretty much done. There's like, if you can't target it, you don't have Deep Prison doesn't work. If you don't have that stuff, you're pretty much done. So that's what I do like about the deck. Now, what's Yu-Gi-Oh about it? Basically, we're talking about right now Obelisk, because any deck that can make a God card is godlike, for the fact that, I mean, come on, it's a God card, you guys. That's just busted. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. I was really glad I could present this episode to you guys. I really do love this deck. I'm a big fan of this deck. I'm an advocate for this deck, and I think it's just a really good deck. Granted, macro, water, all that stuff is gonna, is gonna be faster than the deck, or is gonna hurt the deck. But they do have their outs. Every deck has their outs, and it just depends. Are you gonna draw them? Are you gonna make the right plays to bait out cards that get in your way? It all depends on how you play the deck. So let me know what your thoughts below. What you feel about Frog Monarch, Lancer Monarch, Obelisk Monarch, every kind of Monarch. I probably left out some Monarchs. I forgot to mention End of Anubis. Card's busted too. Really good against water. All effects of spell, trap, and effect monsters that target a card in the graveyard or activate in the graveyard and negated kills water instantly. Love this card. Aside from Deep Sea Diva, but I mean, they can get around Diva with other plays. But anyways, leave your thoughts below. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, thank you to everyone who helped me out with this. And let me know what you guys want to see on the next episode. I think people said TG, so I'm going to go here and build a Tech Genesis deck next couple of days. I am on vacation, but I did want to do this video for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs it up for Obelisk, because Obelisk is a boss. And oh my god, they even have I didn't even know that. You see that, you guys? They even have the freaking signature on it. That is amazing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thumbs it up, and thank you for watching.